Hey, God bless everyone, and welcome to my channel, Save to Love. This channel's purpose is primarily to reach the souls and also to speak about the Bible. And today I actually want to speak about my testimony, about how I went from death to life and accepted Christ as my Savior. Well, I've actually been serving Christ now for 10 years. I accepted Christ July 9th, 10 years ago. And I could say right away that from the moment that I accepted Christ, it had been the best choice that I ever made in my whole entire life. There's nothing that I could say that would be better than this. Um, I wasn't raised in church. Ever since I was young, I have small memories and moments of me and my family going to church and Bible studies, but it wasn't something like we were in church every week. It was once in a while. We would go to like little kids Bible studies that my mom would bring us to, and the person that would give the Bible studies would be my aunt. And you know those kid Bible studies, they're usually like the Ark of Noah, like Jonah and the whale, those little small kid Bible studies, something to entertain the kids and stuff, and to try to speak to them about God. But we were not raised in church. The Bible studies would be held sometimes in a church, but majority of the time it would be right in the backyard of my grandma's house. In my younger years, how there was always something inside of me that had me questioning a lot of things. I was living in Puerto Rico by that time, in a little place called Vega Alta, Puerto Rico. I remember one day I woke up to go to school. We got dressed and we're walking to the school itself. And I remember looking up into the sky. Being a young kid, I probably was like 5 years old. And I thought to myself, this is it? Like, is this all that there is? As a kid, I don't know why I thought like that. But I remember that I really questioned if this was all there was to life. Fast forward, I ended up moving to Connecticut with my father, and then for like a year, at the age of 6. Then after that, I moved to Pennsylvania with my mom and with my sisters. And that's when I started to struggle a lot with myself and battling with inner thoughts and stuff. And I remember that while I was living with my father before I moved with my mom, in my mind I would see like everything around me would start to fall apart. Like my dad would start to struggle, and the bills would not be able to get paid and stuff like that. And then I would blame myself. My dad would never blame me. He would never say it was my fault, but I would automatically would see everything around me fall apart, and I would actually attribute that to myself. I would say it's my fault in my mind. And then I would leave from my dad's house to move with my mom. And while I'm living with my mother, I remember my mom would have, it'll be simple. My mom would have internet, she would have cable, everything would be good. And then as soon as I moved there, 2 or 3 months after that, they would have to cut off the internet, they would have to cut off the cable. And I'm like, what's going on? Why is this happening? And the only difference in the scenario would be me. I'm now living there. So in my mind, I would automatically blame myself. And I remember that I would consciously call my father when I see everything in my mom's house falling apart. And I would ask him, Dad, how are you? Mind you, at this time I'm like 7, 8. And I'll call him like, Dad, how are you? And he's like, we're okay. And I said, did you guys get the internet back and the cable and the food? Is everything falling back into place? And he'll reply with yes every time. And I'll sit there and I'm just like, see, as soon as I left, everything started to fall back into place. So imagine, as a young kid, I'm thinking like that. I'm carrying this burden in my heart and in my head. So then, fast forward again. I'm a teenager. About 10th, 11th grade. I'm cutting classes. I'm selling drugs. I'm sleeping around. And I would still feel that burden every day. And I remember one day I'm in the basement and I'm getting really high. And I hear the voice of God. You guys are probably gonna laugh at me because I was high, but he spoke to me. I got out of the basement and I left. And I had a flashback to my past when I also used to say as a young kid, I'm gonna be a superhero. And in my life, as a teenager, I felt like I was being the complete opposite. I go to visit my dad in Connecticut, and then what happens is this lady comes out of nowhere speaking in tongues. And she says, you're gonna accept me. You're leaving this place, but you're gonna accept me right in this place. I think she's crazy. I leave. 1 year later, the day after my 18th birthday, I'm thinking about killing myself. And then I go into that very same place where the lady spoke to me. And I gave my life to Christ. 3 months after I gave my life to Christ, about 3 months, the lady walks into that building and reminds me, not her, but just me seeing her, reminds me of the prophecy. You will accept me in this very place. And now everything is different. I look back and I think about everything. And I can say this is I feel like the most powerful part of my testimony, even though there's so much I left out. The day after I accepted Christ, I go home, go to sleep, everything's going normal. And when I wake up, I get dressed and everything, and I go to leave my house. And I open the doors of my house. And the trees look different. The wind feels different. And I didn't know why, but everything felt new. Like a new perspective. I don't know what it was, a new feeling. It was like if I felt everything for the first time in my life again. I saw everything different. And then I started reading the Bible. And I hit myself with this Bible verse that says, all those who come to Christ are made into new creatures. Everything that is old passes away, and everything is made new. Because we cannot cannot save ourselves. The only way to be saved is through Jesus Christ. And I pray to God that this message reaches everybody. And I want to tell you this genuinely. If nobody has told you this, you are loved. You are sought after. Because the Bible said that God continuously knocks on the door of our heart. So he's looking for you. He loves you. And he wants to save you. Again, my name is Angel. And this is my channel, Saved to Love. God bless you, and I hope this message is encouraging and it could give you a reason to actually seek for the one true God.